Good afternoon, guys. It's going to be a quick one for me today, I think. Obviously, I had a meeting this morning, as some of you all know, just with a client to go through some sculpts I've done for them. All handed over now, and a couple of test print mishaps corrected on the fly with a little bit of green stuff, which is always a handy skill to have. So, right, I was working a little bit on this earlier, so I just wanted to show you quickly while I'm on it. I've sorted out a pedestal for the table. So the table now has legs, which I feel are quite sympathetic to the rest of the scene. So that is, let me just turn it down a touch. Yeah, so that is now looking the part, I feel. I just need to get that painted up so it's ready to go with the rest of it. And then having a chat to a friend of mine, AJ, who did the art for me on the Barbarian. She mentioned that a kind of a potted plant on the table there might be a nice addition. Just add a little bit of height to the scene as well. So I'll be considering the addition of that. So yeah, we will have a little look and see how this all pans out now. But not before I've got the city guard done. We'll just save this and then we'll go back to the city watch file from yesterday. So I've been loaded up with some reference images from Mr. Rich Smith, so I can add him to our collection. We're going to be doing Rich as a halfling. What was his name? A halfling on a Shetland pony. So I need to make a little horse obviously for that one. Okay, so that's saved. Waiting on to load. Here we go. Right, so do I do the head or do I start working on the body? Because of the time, I think I'm going to start on the bodies. Just get me special glove on. Also, I think I mentioned before, guys, when I'm sculpting, I tend to use this glove, which is kind of it's quite a silky, well, not silky material, but like I imagine it's like polyester or nylon or something like that. It's like a little thin, stretchy glove, but it just goes over the bottom two fingers, last two fingers. So my middle finger, index finger, and thumb are free, which means I can hold the pen comfortably without any kind of slipping or anything else. But my hand actually does glide across the surface of the screen, nice and easy. So it just makes keeping the lines straight and smooth a little bit easier. So if you're struggling with any of that kind of stuff, if you're doing these works and you're struggling to get like a nice smooth flowing curves, I would encourage you to grab one of these half hand glove things and give it a go, because it just makes that makes your life that little bit easier there. Okay, so let's get his head up. Let me grab my reference images on my Discord. Okay, so here we go. Right, so okay, first comment on the stream is a bot, which bodes well. Let's be deleting that comment from the chat. There we go, ban hammer has been waved. Okay, so Again, so if you want slightly softer strokes, then the clay brush rather than the clay build-up is the one to go for. So if you didn't see yesterday's stream and you're wondering what's going on, yesterday we sculpted a group of people who are going to be the faces of the City Watch. Now this group of people are various YouTubers and Twitchers and streamers in various other capacities, but also kind of customers of mine. And hey Rich, how you doing, dude? Customers of mine and also subscribers to this channel. So people who have requested it or volunteered to be made, or I've asked them if they're interested. Just doing your head at the moment, Rich. This will be an interesting one for you. Hopefully try not to offend you with it. Nah, it's alright, mate. I'm alright. I work alright under pressure. Everybody I sculpted yesterday was on stream anyway, so it's only fair that you're here today to see it happen. And call me out if there's anything you don't like as well. How are you doing today anyway, mate? You keeping well? No meetings for you. No rest for the IT man. Oh, nice, you got another couple of hours at least, though. So are you just home based then, are you, Rich, or do you have to go into an office somewhere? Very nice there, very nice. You done any painting lately? I haven't seen anything, any of your, you haven't posted anything in the group for a while. Americans was the last things we saw, weren't it? I need to get some ghouls posted up, don't I? Get the ghouls shared so you can get some of them on. Oh, last night I came back down to the office. I've had a good clean up in here. Some of my office is all nice and tidy. Well, mostly nice and tidy now. I've gone round, I've sorted it all out. And I thought I'm going to go down the house, keep Hayley company while she's doing a little bit of her work. And watching trash telly. And yeah, I thought I'll take some models down and do some painting. So I've got all my paints ready, I've got all my models ready, I got down the office, put them all on the table, got down the house, sorry, got them all sat down on the table, got my water out, the lamp and everything. Literally reached for my brush to start painting, and I hadn't even bought a paintbrush with me. I'd put all my paintbrushes away when I was tidying up, and I just totally forgot to bring them. So I ended up not painting at all last night. So, woohoo! So, oh, very nice, mate. City Guard and the Saracen guy is ready. Very cool. Well, after a little chat I've had today, it's kind of prompted me into thinking more about kind of expediting my my game, to bring my game to the table. So, basically, we're going to still work on all the existing plans, but there will be a kind of Mordheim-esque skirmish game that you'll all be able to kind of pick up and use all my models with. So all these minis you're painting right now, mate, you're getting all your warbands ready, I think. So at least that is the plan. So we'll have the mercenary company will be in there as a warband. You'll be able to use the mercenaries, but obviously you'll be able to use them for factions too. The Saracens will be a warband of their own. We'll have the undead and the demons will be obviously in there. And I'll need to come up with some new factions as well. But it's all set in the same world as the Adventurers Guild. So the Adventurers Guild will be a faction. So we're going to get a couple of factions ready, get the Kickstarter, get the rules play tested and refined. So I'm going to need some volunteer playtesters for that. So if anybody fancies signing up, I have got a playtester channel on the Discord actually. So just DM me and I'll set you up on there, and we can start looking at getting some playtest running. I'm gonna get Max helping me with that one as well, so that will need to go further down the line, obviously after the crystal collapse is done, because I think Max is elbow deep in nanolith at the moment already, and then he's obviously got to come and do crystal collapse with me too. So he's going to be a busy boy. Oh, just ping me a message, Rich, and I'll get you in on the when we're off the stream. I'll get on with you and we'll get you set up on the playtesters group. You know, I've not been cold all day until I sat down. I've been walking around. It's been quite toasty, and now all of a sudden I sit down to sculpt and I'm suddenly feeling the cold now. And I've also realised that the temperature is only like 17 degrees in here, so I'm got to get my printer running in a little bit. I need to make sure the temperature's up a bit for that. Yeah, because what I need to try and get my head around now is kind of growing the business, kind of making a bit more success out of it. And I think the best way of doing that is going to be a Kickstarter for a game, because I've got all these armies I'm working on. So you guys haven't seen it, but the goblin, well, you've seen bits of it, but the goblins and the undead that I'm working on. My plan was to bring those two to Kickstarter as separate factions, as an entire army. But actually, retrospectively thinking about it now, thinking about it now, after the conversations I've had, makes me think that actually doing these things as factions for a Kickstarter project would be a better way to go. So we do. So I've got my modular ruins. We've got the first few factions, I suppose, are already made and ready to go. So I just need to incorporate them into the rules really and just get them in. Let's see if we can do a little bit of a Russian translation here on YouTube. I'd love to say my Russian's rusty, but I do not speak it at all, unfortunately. Have a good stream, thank you. Okay, so we're just going to carry on just doing now Richard's got very short hair, or short back and sides kind of thing. Hey up Kev, how are you doing buddy? Got yours here, I just need to do some work on it. It's not quite there. I'm not sure why. If you got a few more photos, I can refine it. That'd be very handy, matey. Most of the photos I've got you with your hat on. We've got you with your hat on, or like half your head's cut off, or you like putting crazy faces. So I need a I need a facial expression off you that you would like to see on a model, with multiple views, if that's all right. So if you can do that, a couple of different headshots from different angles. Nah, mate, we've got the hats and stuff like that, but I still need to be able to do your head properly. And also, if you want a copy of your head for other uses, like if you want to, you know, go full narcissist and include yourself as a Space Marine commander or something like that in your army, then you know you've got the option to do that. Yeah, strictly uniform for these guys. Nice, mate, nice. Look forward to it. Yeah, I was saying yesterday, Kev, when I was sculpting your thing, you reminded me of or the model it did at least, reminded me of something out of Fallout. Plague Marine. Come on, mate, give yourself a bit of credit. Cheers, Kev. I haven't looked at them yet, but I'll check them in a minute, mate. You can turn yourself into whatever you want, can't you? Once you got the head printed and you got it scaled correctly, you can put it on everything. When did you see what Ross at Fohammer did? 263 copies of his own head. So we can do an entire Space Marine Legion with his own face. Let's see what you got for me, Kev. Love her, mate. Great poses, mate. Oh, well, no. Yeah, I did the sculpt for him for the head. I'll load it up in a minute and show you, but basically we did, he'd got a scanner. I want to call it a Reverpoint scanner. Because he's a lucky bugger and he gets all these freebies through from the printer companies. So Frozen had sent him a new, I think it's the Mini 8K, but they're doing the Mini 8K with a couple of bottles of the 8K resin and this 3D scanner as well. And except if you know Ross at Fohammer, he's obviously got hair and he's got a beard and eyebrows, and turns out the 3D scanners do not deal with hair at all, not even slightly well. So yeah, unfortunately the scan he did, even after several attempts and like spending lots of time and effort trying to get it right, the scan was atrocious. So he came knocking my door for a favour, and basically I ended up having to resculpt all of the hair elements of the model and the eyes, because eyelashes as well. Eyelashes screwed it. So a word of warning from me here would be: don't even think about 3D scanners in relation to miniatures. They're not viable. You can get 3D scanners that can do it, I believe, but you're talking. I was looking into it for a client of mine who does a lot of metal miniatures, and they were considering like digitising their collection, and they asked me to help and look into some of the tech that was available to do it. And the cheapest scanner, the cheapest 3D scanners that looked like they would be capable of actually doing miniatures were somewhere in the region of 15,000. So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, no. Unfortunately, you're a long way off, which is probably a good thing, because I think once that level of scanning comes to the market, Games Workshop are pretty much going to be fighting a losing battle at that point, because all these people who complain that their stuff's too expensive, once there's a scanner around, it's only going to take one person to scan the product, and it's going to, be, rampantly spread across the internet. So, although I would also say that piracy is a bit of a weird one, because people who are willing to pirate software or pirate models, whether that's buying recasts or whatever else, for the most part are not going to be customers who would buy the original products from the original company. Hey, it's Snowyak, how you doing? You keeping well, sir? So yeah, so like piracy is a bit of a weird one, because on one hand it's it's not right, it's morally wrong, etc., etc. However, realistically speaking, it doesn't really have that huge an impact on most creators. Just from the point of view of the people who are, people who are willing to like steal and pirate and all that kind of stuff, they're never going to be proper customers anyway, are they? Boring day, mate. I've done my cleaning already today. I had one of my clients come round to my office to come and pick up some models I'd done for him, and I haven't cleaned my office since before Christmas, and it's just got more and more cluttered and messy. So I thought meetings due to start at 10. Gives me an hour and a half to get myself together, sort stuff out. Jeez. Right then. What's that? Vay Victor's caught a pirate? Possibly. It's all over the place. There's Telegram channels popping up all over. I do modding on an STL group on Facebook called 3D models for 3D printing. So I'm like the admin there, and before we put the group to kind of members only, literally you go in there every single day, and there was just loads and loads and loads of people, different people, so different accounts posting the same Telegram links. And now I'm not saying go ahead and do this, right, but for me, I would much rather that my files were given away, pirated and shared amongst a group of people, given away for free. What really riles me is these guys are harvesting the files from people and then charging 30 quid to give you access to a library of 15,000 miniatures that they've got no rights to be selling, and it's when the people, when they're profiting off it, is when it riles me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not condoning it in any way at all, but like I say, from my point of view, the people who are going to buy that stuff and they're going to pay into it and whatever else, they're going to be buying if they're willing to support illegal business and they basically want to pay as little as possible for the stuff, they're never going to come to me and buy my files from me, because the price point is going to be too high for them, even though it's not expensive. Do you know what I mean? But if they've got the attitude of why pay full price when I can get it for a tenner from here, and the morals aren't there to kind of back it up and say, hang on a minute, this isn't legit, I shouldn't be supporting these guys, then they're not the customer. Then they're never going to be a customer anyway, and they're not really the customers you want, are they? So Let's get more of these reference pics. Okay, so Rich, at the moment I feel like you're looking a bit what's his name, Doctor Strange here. You feeling that? I feel like it's starting to get there. Yeah, they'll all be guards. Let me show you all the faces we've got so far. A couple of them still need some more work, so I need to come back and do a bit of a revisit. But yeah, we've got so we've got Rich here now. We've got me in the middle, and then we've got there you go, White Rose Dragon down here. Then we got Crazy Kev, who, now that I'm looking at it from here, I'm actually seeing a little bit of Will Ferrell. So definitely need to sort that one out for you, matey. Then we got Elston as a half elf. We got Bunker the gnome. No, sorry, that was Bunker. Bunker the gnome. And then Bunker's attack rabbit. It's vicious attack bunny. So that's where we're at the moment. So Rich, let's see. I say, Rich, your beard grows around your hairline, around your jawline. So you check your nose from a side profile. A lovely pic of you here. Is it your nan in the photo with you, Rich? Okay, so I've actually got the shape of your nose totally wrong. Crikey, 90. Fair play. Your nose is weird. Everyone's going to say that about their own nose, mate. What's weird is when you're me and you're so used to sculpting people, you end up looking at different people. And I mean, you'll know from our little chat yesterday. I look at people and I see loads of like similarities and loads of likenesses and things all the time, and it kind of like helps to kind of get certain features in my head. And I don't know if it's because I'm looking at a particular features or what, but it's mouth is not quite there, I don't think. Could be wrong, but I think I've got your forehead coming up to I bet it is, mate. Oh, I can see beard here now better in the video you sent. Oh no, mate. Nobody's face is symmetrical, no matter how much you think it is. Right, now. Have you ever done a test where you take a photograph of your face and cut half of it off and then mirror it? Very weird. Now, the thing that is, yeah, a proper symmetric face is weird. Try it, guys. If you haven't already done it, take a picture of your own face, cut it in half down the middle on your phone or on a computer or whatever, and then mirror the image over. And it looks bizarre. It really, really does. And the weirdest thing is, if you do it with both sides of your face, you'll create two creepy, weird hybrid people. I've not tried that one, Kev. I'll have to give it a go. Symmetry off now, let's get the asymmetry in. Okay, so Rich, looking at you here, your left eye is... Yeah, it's all good, mate, it's all good. I was just having it upgraded, was all. It just took a bloody long time for him to do it, because we've got a telephone pole opposite our house, and they had to connect the internet from there. But when they came to do it, basically there's an oak tree between the house and the telephone pole, and the telephone line essentially went straight through the branches of the oak tree. And they couldn't do that because if they'd have basically sent the tree, they'd put the new line through without trimming the tree back, the tree could grow and it could bend the cable because it's fibre. If it bends, it's going to snap. So they had to get the tree surgeons in to do a bit of a job. But they disconnected us at like 9 o'clock in the morning or something like that when they first arrived, expecting this tree surgeon to be on site straight away, and they didn't turn up till nearly lunchtime. And then when they actually finally connected the thing up and they got it all running, somebody had managed to break the bloody cable somewhere. So there was nothing coming through the fibre. So they ended up having to like do a load of fault finding, track it back, find the failing. Hey, Skyhawk, sorry mate, I missed your hello there. Yeah, they had to basically trace it back, find the thing, and then splice it through. So it was all fun and games, but yeah, well we had 4 BT vans outside as well, plus the tree surgeons. So like Hayley came back from school on that day. I think she was it a Tuesday or something? She was doing like the school run, doing the it might have been Wednesday. She was just out anyway. She was out for a bit in the morning, and then when she came back, they like literally she had to park like 100 yards down the road because there was like nowhere for her to park. And she didn't fancy parking straight under the route of the where the tree surgeons were going to be working or anything like that. So right then, so Rich, your left eye is a little bit more closed than your right eye generally, it appears. There's a slight Let's just check jawline from the side. Okay, thank you for the like. And you, Kev? Kev, you watching me on both Facebook and Twitch at the same time? Lip ring? You're thinking of pickle there, mate? Fair play, man. Piercings and prison tattoos. I'm starting to get a bit of lag here, so we're hitting the million poly mark, which means it's starting to slow right down. Oh, you sod. Let's do that again, but with symmetry on. Why'd you download everything, man? That's what we've got cloud storage for. Bunker, how you doing, mate? You keeping well today, sir? Yeah, I don't think I would. I don't think I'd want to what do you call it? Save everything down off my hard drive onto my hard drive. It just take up too much space. Just keep it on the cloud servers and stuff. I will. Obviously, it does pose an issue when you need to try and access something and you've got no internet connection, but. Done that and made the ears too big now. I'm fairly happy with that then. Let me save that. What do you think, Rich? The video of you turning your head, by the way, very helpful. Oh, no, Bunker. You missed the notification from me going live. Okay, let's... Keeping me on my toes. I guess we've got Rich. We've got... Well, let's revisit Crazy Kev now. So we've got some pictures of Kev from different angles. Let's try and work this one out and make him look less like a scary comedy version of Will Ferrell. Okay, so first thing for definite. Right, so Kev's got thicker eyebrows for a start, so let's just work on that. This line here also right, so nose shape, the top of the nose, the bridge. Oh, sorry, wrong tool. Kev, much better photos on these ones, thank you, sir. And again, as you said before, Kev, we didn't do the symmetry break on your one yesterday, so it was there's an unnatural look to it because of that as well. So we'll come back and do that one in this pass. Right, ears are... oh shit. Face shape. Right here, look wider. Made your chin a bit too big. No worries, Snowyak. Take it easy, mate. I'll see you later. So here's one of the tricks when you do miniatures. You don't need to do all the strands. When you've got like big clumps of hair like this, get them in place, give them a quick smooth over. So just use the indication of hair. So I'm just going to go big clumps and strands. We're going to remove all the texture I don't want, but try and keep the form that I do want, which is like the directional strokes. And then I can come back in with the what's it called? Oil cracks brush. And do some indications of stranding. So we're going to go to the tips of the hair, and then we're going to go to the base of the hair. So we're doing volume and hints essentially. Hair is a little bit too big, so let's just turn that down a touch. got your nose very wrong as well. More boxy, nose more blobby. Noted. I'll sort that out for you in a minute, mate. I think, Kev, as well, I think your eyes are further forward, so let's just grab that and bring that forward a bit. And let's try and do it without making you look like a superhero. Yeah, but I need to try and do it without the mask. Right, so nose is more like that. Chin is not so pronounced, so chin needs to come back a touch. Mouth moves down generally. Oh, bugger. I just realised what's bothering me. The thing's making you look like Tori out of Mythbusters. Okay, so let's just wrap this one up, I think. There you go. I feel that looks actually a bit like Kev now, instead of Will Ferrell or anybody else. There was a point when I felt like he was going a bit Val Kilmer. But I think we've got Kev there now. So we've got. Right, Rich. What was your missus' feedback? More boxy head. Boxy head and what? Blobby nose. You want to have a word with your missus? Less rectangular. What, the nose or the head? Head in general. His nose has a blob on the end that comes down a bit. I will say that generally when you're speaking a nose, speaking about noses, there is a kind of, well, you got the bridge of the nose, which is normally a kind of a, well, probably easy if I demonstrate it in shapes, isn't it? Like if you're sculpting a nose from scratch. You got those neighbours by you, like they got pets and you don't know why. We got one who's like seems to have recently got a new yappy little puppy, and all I ever hear is the bloody thing barking in the garden. It's like, if you got a dog, you know, don't just leave it in the garden all day and all night. Right, we got you there then, do you reckon? A bit too long. Yeah, you're right, you know. Trying to figure out which bit of your face is too long now. I feel like I'm making you a caricature of a nose here. Chubby cheeks and big nose. Well, actually, you know, the halflings, there's not that much different on a halfling to a human, apart from the size. So I think it'd just be kind of making your head slightly larger in proportion to your body, rather than actually physically changing it. I mean, I can make you a gnome if you like, and then we can really go to town on your nose, and give you the little pointy ears as well. Actually, come to think of it, do I need to give you more fluffy sideburns or something if we're going to make you a halfling? Or curlier hair, maybe. Who's his, oh. the message then. Okay, so we've got Rich, we've got Kev, we've got Rosie, we've got Elston, we've got Gnome Bunker. Right, just before the wife and the kids get back, let's talk noses. So, let's scrub the nose off this guy. So if I'm making a nose from scratch on a character who doesn't already have one, first thing I'm going to do is just build up a kind of a central line like this. Okay. Oh, I've already got Strawberry on the cards here. She's I asked her about it yesterday after the stream, and she's well up for it. So Strawberry's going to be replacing Blueberry actually. So she's going to be the female dwarf in the group. And Mike says, "Yep, go for it," but everyone will think it's Brian Blessed. So we'll do Mike as well. So tip of the nose, we kind of have like a V shape coming down here. So the bridge of the nose comes down in a V, and then the tip of the nose will be like a kind of, again, like a cherry with a V at the end, V at the top. A bit like Pac-Man biting the. Now nostrils from here out and round, kind of like little C shape. Depends where you want to join them to, but basically this bridge of the nose under here, the septum, is it down this bit? And draw that one down. Carve out the nasal cavity. Make sure the nostrils come down into the upper lip a little bit. Okay. And then the last thing we want to do is take the sides here, the sides of the nose, in a kind of, so you come in this kind of shape, like a little triangle on the side of the nose, flat off both ends. Well, trapezium, yeah. And then that leaves you this little indent at the centre of the eye, which is perfect. It leaves a little bit across the top of the cheek. Gives you a little bit of a shape to the end of the nose, which isn't just blob. And then you can just profile it as you need to. So bring the nostrils up, bring the septum up, change the shape of the tip of the nose, bring them in, move them around, widen it. You can obviously bring the nose forwards and change the shape of it entirely. So making a nose from scratch actually is quite quick and easy if you know what you're doing. But trying to match somebody's nose perfectly from a dozen or more photos, that's a little bit trickier. But there's always the different sections. So you've always got the bridge, you've always got these little side bits, you've got the nostrils, and you've got the tip. So it's just obviously it's placing them in the right place and getting the right shape. Obviously, if they've had anything like if you've had like a broken nose or something in the past, then you've got to kind of account for that a little bit. So you can't take anything as a given. You've got to use your reference material. But again, when perspective's skewed on the photos and things like that, that's tricky too. So the ideal would be I'd have you sitting in a chair next to me and I can work from that. But all else fails, we've got a solution of sorts anyway. So that one is going to become Red Straw Baby. Then we've got Mike Moans. If I can get some reference images off him. Do you know? I'm just gonna before I wrap this one up, let's bring in. Oh, is that what it is? A rugby injury. That makes sense then. What's going on here then? Let me just save this so I don't lose everything. Let me just go and get it, mate. No, I'm still on it. I'm just was it this one? So here, mate, I think. Hey Magnus, how you doing? Thanks for joining today. We're just doing some character portraits for the new City Guard set. If anybody else wants to be a City Guard, by the way, and you haven't we haven't discussed it, just DM me. And we'll get some pictures off you and we can include you in it. There you go, Rich. Here we go. Okay, groovy. So, now I need to bring in Ross. What's going on? Why is this not working? Right, here we go. Let's show you this thing, because this is what the scanner did. So when Ross sent me his files, this is literally the actual scan in a raw format. So you can see the eyes. I mean, the skin texture's bad. The hair is abominable. The eyes are bad, but I think again that's eyelashes. It doesn't know what it's doing. And obviously, anytime we came to hair, we had all this weird stuff going on. So, yeah, no worries, Rich. Thanks for joining, mate. I'm glad we got you done. And this was the sculpt after I did a pass on it. So I had to go in and resculpt all of like the beard, the eyebrows, and everything else. And then I did an extra pass where we basically put it onto a body. So this was after a little bit more work and kind of giving him the back of a head. So in essence, I'm going to take this now. I'm going to copy this one, put it into our file. I'm going to find it. So I'm going to paste it into here. Yeah, the quality of the scan was shocking, mate. So, now the one thing I can guarantee you is that it's going to look like Ross because I'm using his actual head scan as a starting point. The only thing is, I'm also going to stylize it, so this isn't going to stay as is. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the home scanners, if you look into them, mate, the home scanners are very much, what's the word for it now? Like phone apps, essentially, or mods that go on your phone. So there's others that. Do you remember the old Kinect for the Xbox 360? Magnus, thank you for the follow. And Max, how you doing, chap? Yeah, so basically where we've got the Xbox 360 had the Kinect sensor, and that was essentially a 3D scanner. And they used that as a 3D scanner. There was mods for it and stuff quite a while back, but obviously you're quite limited in terms of how big a pixel cloud it can kind of render. So like, I think if you imagine like there's a load of like lasers or something in there, and each of those lasers maps a point, and the density of the lasers is basically going to determine how much detail you can get in there. So you haven't got a very dense like laser grid on the 360 on the Kinect. so you're not getting huge amounts of detail on it. But then, 1 second. Yeah, the more modern ones, like the scanner that's done this scan, for example, it is using a more dense cloud of kind of laser grid kind of thing. But the problem is, if you imagine you're going to take a photograph, a 3D photograph from multiple angles, and then somehow it's got to try and stitch that information together, and I think that's where the issues occur, is trying to make a cohesive, like, 3D model out of it, basically. I mean, if you see the adverts on Facebook for this scanner, better at finding ghosts. Have you found a few, have you, Bunker? I used to love the Connect. In our old days, we used to play the Connect Adventures a lot. We had the living room was kind of like quite long, and the telly was at one end of the room. It lended itself quite nicely, but I always had to use the. We had like a little magnifier thing for it. You could never play the Connect without using the magnifier, which reduced the play size that you needed quite significantly. But obviously, it's in doing that, you're losing a little bit of accuracy on it as well. We'll just get a little pickup. Well, now here's the other thing as well. Even though this is, oh you bastard! Even though this is a scan of Ross, I think his head's too wide, and I'm certain of it because the proportions seem massive out here. So I think. Oh, okay, let's just. Magnus is giving us a rundown on the thing. So, Connect uses 2 infrared detector arrays and projects a pattern of infrared light over the subject. The detectors both have an image of the reflected light, where brighter points are closer. Yep, sounds about right. The exact depth from the camera is calculated with trigonometry, right? So you end up with a depth map of reflected IR light brightness. Okay, so we're not using an actual laser grid then. Yeah, I remember seeing people trying to use it as a scanner a long time ago. and obviously it's never going to work quite as you want it to, is it? But yeah, I think the one that did this, again, let me just get back to the original scan. So the one that did this one, the scanner's retailing for around about £750 at the moment. So it's quite expensive for what it's able to do. But again, to get something that's going to scan a miniature and convert that into an actual physical viable scan, you're talking about 15 grand. So even scanners that run in around about the 5 grand mark are still not quite up to the job. And part of it is to do with accuracy, part of it is to do with contrast on the model. So one of the things Ross was telling me about this scanner, it needs really good contrast to work, and he did try scanning a few models. I think he was going to do a video scanning one of my models to see how it came through, but I don't know if he's got around to doing that one yet. But basically, when I was sitting there chatting to him online about it, and what we found was when he was oh, do you know what? I'm going to have to dash in a sec because I've just realised the time, and Hayley's going to be back with Jacob in a minute. Any minute now, and she hasn't got house keys, so she can't get in the house. So I will be popular if I do not answer the door. So yeah, so basically, like I say, it's all to do with the amount of contrast on the model as well, and the kind of the reflectiveness of the surface. So ideally you want something that's very matte, but in very good light conditions. It's quite hard to get that exact balance, especially with a miniature. If you ever try to photograph them, you'll know what I mean. But like trying to get the contrast in a because you obviously want to scan an unpainted miniature, not a painted one, because it's going to give you a better kind of finish. And it doesn't like smooth surfaces; it wants a little bit of texture at least. And I think the ones that I've seen where they can scan actual proper miniatures, you have to give it a kind of a primer first with a kind of what you call it. You've got to give it a primer with something that's got a little bit of texture to it. So yeah, personally, Magnus, man, it'd be sculpted from scratch every time for me. I don't think it's even worth the time and the effort to do this. But like I say, because I've already got the head from Ross, I might as well use it. But I know, I mean, looking at his photos on Facebook and stuff, I can see that he's, the proportions are out and kind of making him look a lot wider than he actually is. It kind of looks like his eyes are very small in the middle of his face, and that's not really what he looks like. What I'm doing now is much closer to actual Ross. So and again, it's down to the fact that he's had to scan from multiple angles and then stitch the different parts together. So the mesh is looking for kind of points it recognises from the previous one, and then trying to make a kind of a 360 thing. It's naturally going to try and make things round, I think. So I think that's where we've got a little bit of potentially also as well. He didn't scan all the way round his head. He only did the front like 3/4, so there was no back to the model. So I had to fill it all in manually. I mean, this isn't a bad starting point now, but like I say, I've already done a lot of work to get it to this point, which is why I'm kind of happy to use it. So I think we go with this. We use this bit now. I just have to kind of sort his hair out, because I don't think he brushed his hair the day he did the scan. He was... Hey Rosie, how you doing, mate? I say it's very late for you, isn't it? You off to Tesco for some nosh, or you got to kind of grab something? You bought something with you today? I'm good here, mate. Very good, thanks, mate. But you have come in right at the end of my stream. I'm just trying to frantically just get a little bit more done before I have to run and answer the door. So I know Hayley's going to be back with the kids any minute now. Oh, good man. Rosie, do you think you'd be able to send me a few more, like take a couple of pictures of yourself now, send me a few extra pictures so I can kind of just refine your pick as well, your sculpt. Cheers, man. So there's no mad rush for it. I don't need it straight away because I've still got to make the body and everything else yet and pose it all up. I can always switch the head out at the end. But I'm conscious I worked off yours from like 3 photos that were quite as many different angles as you can. And I want like a stern facial expression off you because we're gonna make you we're gonna do you as like a commander, aren't we? Like a sergeant kind of. I wonder if Hayley's taking the kids to the park or something, because she's normally back by now. we got somewhere. I had one extra photo of you, so. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, we've got a raid. Literally as I'm about to drop it. Hey, Mike, how you doing, mate? Thanks for the raid, mate. Hey, mini mommy, how you doing? Welcome, everyone. I mean, hopefully you all know who I am. If not, I'm Dan at the Lions Tower. I do this stuff for a living. This is my day job. And at the moment, I am sculpting a load of models for my City Watch release for this month. So we're going to do a whole new Ankh-Morpork Discworld-esque City Watch bundle, and we're doing them in the image of various different streamers. So I'm hoping Mr. Mike has got some mug shots he can send me so I can immortalise him as a City Watchman. Hey Pixie, how you doing? Hope you're keeping well today. Handsome chap on screen at the moment is Ross from Fohammer. So we're just getting him ready. Let's say who misses on that one. That's an offer you can't refuse, Mike. Always good, hey? So here's what we've got so far. Faces. So we've got Rich Smith, who's been in the call earlier. We've got me here in the middle. We've got Kev from the Hobby Corner, and then we've got Ian from the Bunker, the Hobby Bunker, Elston from Elstonation as a half elf, and Rosie from White Rose Dragon on Twitch, just as a human, just as himself. And then, like I say, we're just working on Ross now. Bunker has a big pet rabbit. Well, not a big pet rabbit, but a pet rabbit. So we're going to do Bunker as a an angry gnome corporal with a vicious attack rabbit. So there is the vicious attack rabbit waiting to come and get you. So that'll be a nice little entertaining sculpt for me. Rich is going to be a halfling on a Shetland pony. And then we're going to try and figure out the personas of everybody else. The Red Straw Baby is also going to be made up as a character for this one. And if anybody else would like themselves to be added into the mix, please ping me a message. And I need some mug shots to work from. Let's bring Ross back over here. Hey Nerd Harla, yep, you're also on the lineup. No worries, Mike, no worries. I'm going to have to drop off in a minute myself anyway, so I'm just going to try and get a little bit of this done before Hayley comes back with the kids. You're training her as an attack bunny, are you, Bunker? So just here, then we just. I was saying the Ross sculpt I've got here. Just show you all for a little bit of interest. We're dealing with a little bit of new technology. So Ross has had a 3D scanner sent to him, which is actually from Frozen. I think it's a partnership they've been doing, and this is how the scan came out in the first place. So the 3D scanners at the moment, they really don't deal well with hair. So that was the original scan he gave me. He said, basically, can you clean that up and do something with it so I can use it. So after a little bit of work, I managed to get it to that basic. Oh, where is it? Get it to that. So that was a little bit of, well, quite a lot of re-sculpting and cleaning up and polishing and whatnot. But we got there. So he's been using that for various of his videos. So if you go and have a look at let me just sort of shout out for Mike first, because I can't remember how to do this. Shout out. Mike, oh no.
Someone is at the front door.
So guys, I know we raid Mike a lot. We go in there and you know who he is, but I'm going to thank him for the thing. Let's give him a little shout out here. Oh, you bugger. This is my technology failing me at the moment. There we go. Shout out for Mike. Guys, I just need to mute you a second while I run and get the door and let my wife and children in. Otherwise I'll be in trouble. I will not be long. I'll be back to you shortly. Sorry about that, guys. Just Haley and the kids coming back in, and then I don't know if you've got kids yourself, but oh, Bonker, thank you very much, matey, for dropping the discount code in. Yeah, coming back covered in snot and all sorts of things. The joys, eh? Okay, then, so where was I at now? Yeah, so we're just back on here. Is that it? Yeah, so we're just trying to make Ross look like Ross. I think the scan of his head, I think, is a little bit too wide. I'm just gonna rework his beard so it's got more of a stylized look about it, instead of trying to be not scan realistic kind of thing. So I have already done a sculpting pass on this once. It's not the end of the world to kind of like to use that one, but trying to do it in the first place, it was a killer of a job. So I wouldn't advise anybody to go out and try getting a 3D scanner, scanning themselves and then trying to rework the whole thing. It's just far more effort than it was worth, to be honest. We only did it to prove a point for a YouTube video. So normally if somebody had brought that mesh to me, I'd have just said I'll just sculpt it from scratch. It'd just be easier. It'd take less time as well. Hey Squid, it was oh no, it was, I want to say it was called a Revo Point. So there's a campaign running, it might be running at the moment, I've seen it fairly recently from Frozen. So they're doing a package deal thing where you can get I think it's a Sonic Mini 8K, possibly a Mighty 8K, along with a couple of litres of the 8K resin, and then the scanner. So they're offering it as like a kind of a package bundle. So that was where Ross got this one from. So like he's an affiliate with Frozen, and they'd sent him the kit to try out. So obviously he's trying to demo it in its best possible light to make it you know, to show it as a viable kind of like product. And it's got its place, it's got its uses, I imagine, but obviously it's not for miniatures, sadly. So yeah, I think we're still a way off that. I mean, when we get 3D scanners that are capable of doing that kind of level of miniature scanning, then you know, Games Workshop will be in trouble because they're going to lose a lot of money to pirates at that point. But until that point, you can get a scanner, you can do it now, but the scanners are like 15 grand. The Revo Point scanner that did this scan is like 750 quid on its own, I think it is. So it's quite an expensive bit of kit to not be able to turn out amazing results. But if you're trying to scan people or something like that, it's fine. But when you then try and like work it out as for miniatures, yeah, 750 quid, mate. So you most of the scanners you'll find are like they're like apps for your phone. If you look at like a fairly, you know, hobby level price kit. They're like phone scanning apps, and like modification kits, and usually you get like a turntable and some kind of like moving arm device that will kind of help to go all the way around the model. So there's lots of different options available for that kind of thing, but the quality you're going to get is still nowhere near good enough to do miniatures with. You'll be good to get even just the basic shape of them off those kind of things. So yeah, there's technologies are way off there now. You can get scanners that are almost miniature quality. Yeah, chuck a link in, mate. For about $5,000, but again, they're still not quite there. What we got there? Let's check your link there, Squid. Oh yeah. So these kind of things are okay. The 3D scanners, handheld ones. The issues you will have with the handheld is trying to stitch everything together. I mean, that's quite a pricey bit of kit, but I wouldn't necessarily say you would want to use that with a turntable, if you're going to use it at all. But I would question how successful you would be doing, like, I mean, you thinking for miniatures or? So if you look at the pic, let me just get this on the screen so everyone else can see what we're talking about. That would be fine, doing statues and things. If you were looking at doing actual like bits of architecture and stuff, you'd be fine with that, I think. But I think when you try and start doing anything smaller, you're really going to kind of struggle. I mean, this is showing a 35cm statue that's like quite smooth, and you can still see some anomalies on there and stuff, and it hasn't quite got like the fine detail on the hairs on the chin, and that's on a 35cm tall statue. So you can imagine how that's going to scale down even further. Yeah, you'll get the gist of it. You'll get the gist of something like real life. But you just got to obviously be mindful that you're not going to get, total perfect accuracy and stuff like that, and all the fine details aren't really going to kind of come through. But you'll get general forms and stuff. If you go to the My Mini Factory page, as much as I loathe to direct anyone there, let me see if I find it. There's a whole thing called Scan the World. Well, there was at least. I don't know if it's still there. Or if they've kind of moved off that now. But, oh no, yeah, they're still there. There we go. Is that it? You're not going to give me anything? Really? What bloody hell's this? That's pointless, isn't it? So there you go. So these guys, they travel around. They've got the cameras and stuff, and they are the 3D scanners, and they are using it to do like large statues and things. So there's a lot of these kind of things are on there, and you can get the models of these. You can download the STL files for them, but I don't know enough about what they're using. I don't know anything about their technology that they've got that they're actually putting to use. But yeah, if you look at what they've done, you'll see what is possible, if that makes sense. But I'd definitely be interested to find out if you do get, if you find anything interesting on that. Let's just quickly get some hair on Ross's head, and then we can start calling this one done. Right guys, while I've got you all here as well, I just want to show you in a minute, I've got a Kickstarter project I'm working on, which is going to be coming out soon. So hopefully if you're on the Mike Moans Moansverse train, you'll have seen a couple of the models I've made for Mike. So we did Poppy and Strawberry on my last little job for him, and we did Thaddeus Fland, the Gentleman Seductioner. So those models have been done. Actually, need to make sure Mike's got a the next one in the series ready to go. I think actually, because I'm going to be due to be doing another one soon. In addition to that kind of stuff, I've obviously got my own like Kickstarters planned, and the next one will be a kind of a pin-up-esque type model. It's not a proper pin-up, but you know, more like a kind of female diorama piece. In a minute, like I say, I'll show you my progress on it, and we'll have a little look and see where she's up to. She's virtually ready to go on to the Kickstarter page now, so it won't be long. Yeah, if you're interested in any of my other stuff, then you can go on to my web store, which is thelionstower.com. I've got all my models on there. You can get them as STL files, you can get them as resin models. We do ship worldwide. If you spend over £75, we'll ship free of charge worldwide as well. Do you know what? I might have a few of her in, like available for Chilcon, because I'm going to be selling her as a 3D print, like for the show. Like not for the show, sorry, like during the campaign. So I'm looking at putting the campaign live in the next week or two. So I should have her available by then. And obviously I've got a test printer beforehand anyway, so I'll have a few prints kicking around. So I'll definitely have a handful of them. I might even put up a pre-order for Chilcon before the show, just to have the option of picking the model up at the show rather than having to pay shipping. Right, there we go. I think I'm going to call that one done for Ross. Do a little screenshot of that, because he'll be the narcissist in him will be absolutely reveling. Sorry about that, mate. I'm keeping you hanging on it, aren't I? Because it's been a while since I started talking about it. Right, so let me knock that one again. Let me save this file, and then I'll quickly pull the witch up, and I'll show you guys what we're working on. And then yeah, if we go to fire this one up again. So if you use the code there in that link, go to the website, you'll get 25% off anything you order. So Squidknacker, thank you for the follow. Astrius, thank you for the follow as well. And Mr. Mansfield, hope you keep him well, sir. Thank you for the like. So yeah, so you go to the web store, have a little look, and yeah, you can use the code, get yourself some STL files or some resin minis. There's a few freebies on there as well you can go and have a little look at. And right now I'm going to pop over and show you my witch. Did I save it a second ago? I'm going to save it just in case. Come on, come on, come on. Got parents' evening to go to in a minute, so I need to knock this on the head quick. Okay, let's just see who's available for a raid. Red Straw Baby's on. Let's go and drop you an hour. Yeah, it does actually. Yeah, any discount codes you got will be eligible for anything, so pre-orders will still work. Absolutely, matey. And here you go. Here is the lovely lady. So you can see we've got the. I don't normally do full colour. This is hey Hack and Slash, how you doing, matey? What you got here? Oh, nice. I like this. I like your dwarf there, Mike. Dude, no worries, mate. Share away, matey. No, I'm liking him. I hope you keep him well anyway, Michael. So yeah, so here we go. Here is my warlock, tiefling warlock, with a little pun, obviously. The tiefling. We've got a little table full of witchy goodness. Let me just zoom in on this so you can see what's going on here. So we've got a little. It's so difficult to navigate around this, trying to go around a full circle. So yeah, so we've got a little spell book, we've got a D20, we've got a couple of potion bottles, a quill with a scroll and a inkwell, a couple of apples, because what's a witch without an apple? Some candles, a little thingy ball, crystal ball. Heather, some crystals, a little voodoo doll and a nice purple dagger stabbing it in the heart. And then we got obviously the witchy table with the runes and stuff. Cheers, Mike. Appreciate it. Table leg now exists as of this morning, so I'll finish that one off. Well, that would all be on a cabinet behind her, I imagine. I haven't sculpted that yet. And then obviously we've got the tiefling herself, like magically flicking through a spell book. She's got a concentration face on with a little tongue sticking out. Cup of tea pouring with her a tail. So yeah, and a nice decorative ornate chaise lounge. So oh, and the little skeletal rat down here, kind of mooching for scraps and whatnot. So there she is, that's her. She's going to be on Kickstarter in about a week or so's time. I'm just got to get these pedestal coloured up and I can start doing my renders, get her prepared and ready for the page. So guys, I need to duck out. I need to get off because I've got to go and do a parents' evening for my kids. So we're going to do a raid on Red Straw Baby. So thank you all for joining me today. And thank you to Mike again for the raiding. Very much appreciated. Raid Red Straw Baby. Okay guys, so thank you all very much. Rosie, if only I could stay. I'd love to stay longer and sculpt more, but I say parenting calls. So guys, thank you again. Be sure to follow on the Facebook page, join the Discord group, and keep your eyes peeled for this coming up on Kickstarter. So we're going to go and raid Red Straw Baby right now. Hopefully it should be on long enough for you guys to enjoy a little bit of it, and I shall catch you all again tomorrow for another stream. Okay guys, thanks all again, and I'll catch you later. So later, taters. You beat me, bunker. See you all. Thanks again. Bye bye.